Homo Deus, a brief history of tomorrow, Yuval Noah Harari. The last days of death. In the 21st century, humans are likely to make a serious bid for immortality, struggling against old age and death in merely carry on the time-honored fight against famine and disease, and manifest the supreme value of contemporary culture, the worth of human life. You are constantly reminded that human life is the most sacred thing in the universe. Everybody says that. Teachers in school, politicians in parliament, lawyers in court, and actors on theater stage. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the UN after the Second World War, which is perhaps the closing thing we have to global constitution, categorically states that the right to life is humanity's most fundamental value. Since death clearly violates this right, death is a crime against humanity, and we ought to wage total war against it. Throughout history, religion and ideologies did not sanctify life itself. They always sanctified something above or beyond earthly existence, and we consequently quite tolerant of death. Indeed, some of them have been downright fond of the grim reaper, because Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism insist that the meaning of our existence depends on our faith in the afterlife. They view death as a vital and positive part of the world. Human died because God decreed it, and their moment of death was a sacred metaphorical experience, exploding its meaning. When a human was about to breathe his last, this was the time to call priests, rabbis, and shamans to throw out the balance of life and to embrace our true rule in the universe. Just try to imagine Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism in a world without death, which is also a world without heaven, hell, or reincarnation. Modern science and modern culture have an entirely different take on life and death. They don't think of death as a metaphysical mystery, and they certainly don't view death as a source of life's meaning. Rather, for modern people, death is a technical problem that we can and should solve. How exactly do humans die? Medieval fairy tales depicted death as a figure in a hooded black cloak, his hand gripped a large scythe. A man lived his life worrying about this and that, running here and there, when suddenly the grim reaper appeared before him, taps him on the shoulder with a bony finger and said, "Come." And the man implored, "No, please, we're just a month, a day." But the hooded figure hisses, "No, you must come now, and this is how we die." In reality, however, humans don't die because of a figure in a black coat taps on the shoulder, or because God decrees it, or because morality is an essential part of some great cosmic plan. Humans always die due to some technical glitch. The heart stops pumping blood, the main artery is clogged by fatty deposit, cancerous cells spread in the liver, germs multiply in the lungs, and what is responsible for all these technical problems? Other technical problems. The heart stops pumping blood because not enough oxygen reaches the heart muscle. Cancerous cells spread because the chance genetic mutation rewrote their instruction. Germs settled in my lungs because somebody sneezed on the subway. Nothing metaphorical about it. They are all technical problems. And every technical problem has a technical technical solution. We don't need to wait for a second coming in order to overcome this. A couple of jigs in a lab can do it. In traditionally, this was the specialty of priests and theologians. Now the engineers are taking over. We can kill the cancer cell with a chemotherapy or nanorobot. We can exterminate the germs in the lungs with antibiotics. If the heart stops pumping, we can reinvigorate it with medicine and electric shocks. And if that doesn't work, we can implant a new heart. True. At present, we don't have solution to all technical problems, but this is precisely why we invest so much time and money in researching cancer, germs, genetics, and nanotechnology. Even ordinary people who are not engaged in scientific research have become used to thinking about this as a technical problem. When a woman goes to a physical and asks, "Doctor, what's wrong with me?" The doctor is likely to say, "Well, you have the flu, or you have tuberculosis, or you have cancer." But the doctor will never say, "You have this." And we all under the impression that flu, tuberculosis, and cancer are technical problems to which we might someday find a technical solution. Even when people die in a hurricane, a car accident, or a war, we tend to view it as a technical failure that could or should have been prevented if the government and Omnia adopted a better policy, if the municipality have done its job properly, and if the military commander had taken a wiser decision, this would have been avoided. This has become an almost automatic reason for lawsuit and investigation. How could they have died? Somebody somewhere must have screwed up. The vast majority of scientists, doctors, and scholars still distance themselves from our right dream of immortality, claiming that they are trying to overcome only this or that particular problem. Because old age and death are the outcome of nothing but particular problem, there is no point in which doctors and scientists going to stop and declare thus far and not another step. We have overcome tuberculosis and cancer, but we want to lift a finger to fight Alzheimer's. People can go on denying from that. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights does not say that humans have the right to life until the age of 90. It says that every human has a right to life, period. The right is limited by any expiry date. An increasing minority of scientists and thinkers consequently speak more openly these days and state that the flagship enterprise of modern science is to defeat death and grant human eternal youth. Notable examples are the gerontologist Ambry Gray and polymath and inventor Ray Kurzweil, winner of the 1999 U.S. National Medal of Technology and Innovation. In 2012, Kurzweil is appointed Director of Engineering in Google, and a year later Google launched a sub-company called Calico, whose stated mission is to solve death. In 2009, Google appointed another Immortality true believer, Bill Murray, to preside over the Google Venture Investment Fund. In a January 2015 interview, Murray said, "If you ask me today, is it possible to live to be 500? The answer is yes." Murray's backup, his brave word is a lot of hard cash. Google Ventures is investing 36% of its $2 billion portfolio in life science startup, including several ambitious life-extending projects. Using an American football analogy, Marge explained that in the fight against death, we aren't trying to gain a few yards. We are trying to win the game. Why? Because, says Mari, it's better to live than to die. Such dreams are shared by another Silicon Valley luminaries. PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel has recently confessed that he aims to live forever. I think there are probably three main modes of approaching death. He explained, you can accept it, you can deny it, or you can fight it. I think our society is dominated by people who are into denial or acceptance, and I prefer to fight it. Many people are likely to dismiss such a statement as a teenage fantasy. Yet, TL is somebody to be taken very seriously. He is one of the most successful and influential entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley. A private fortune estimated at $2.2 billion. The writing is on the wall. Equality is out. Immortality is in. The breakneck development of fields such as genetic engineering, regenerative medicine, and nanotechnology fosters ever more optimistic profession. Some experts believe that humans will overcome death by 2200, others say 2100. Quijel and the Gray are even more sanguine. They maintain that anyone possessing a healthy body and a healthy bank account in 2050 will have a serious shadow immortality by cheating death a decade at a time. According to Quijel and D. Gray, every 10 years or so, he'll march into the clinic and receive a makeover treatment that will not only cure illness, but will also regenerate decaying tissue and upgrade hands, eyes, and brains. Before the next treatment is due, doctors will have invented a plethora of new medicine, upgrade, and gadget. In Quijel and Gray are right. They may already be some immortal walking next to you on the street. At least if you happen to be walking down Wall Street or Fifth Avenue.